think, my friends? What if you ever face a situation where all three roads lead only to defeat? What would you do? Sometimes, life puts us at such a crossroad, where ordinary thinking traps us, but a small bit of cleverness, a new perspective, can change destiny completely. A long time ago, in a small kingdom, there lived a poor gardener woman. Her life was full of hardships, but she was hardworking and honest. She had only one family member, her beautiful and intelligent daughter, whom she had raised with immense love and care. The gardener woman worked in the garden with her daughter, plucked flowers, and sold them to earn their living. Yet, their income was so little that they could barely manage 2 meals a day. One day, the gardener suddenly needed money. Out of compulsion, she borrowed from the king's minister. This minister was greedy, deceitful, and cunning. People disliked him, but the king blindly trusted him. Time passed, but the gardener could not repay the loan. The minister then saw an opportunity. His eyes fell on the gardener's beautiful, virtuous daughter, and he secretly became infatuated with her. He knew the gardener would never agree to marry her daughter to him, but he also knew that it was impossible for her to repay the debt. Keeping these thoughts in mind, one day, the minister slyly went to the gardener's garden where she and her daughter were working. Standing among the flowers and plants, he put forth his wicked condition. If you marry your daughter to me, I will forgive your entire debt. I won't even charge interest. But if you refuse, you will be thrown into prison. Hearing this, both the gardener and her daughter were terrified. It was a cruel and unjust proposal. The minister, pretending to be generous, added, "Do not be afraid. I'll give you and your daughter one more option. I'll take this pouch. In it, I will put one white pebble and one black pebble. Your daughter will pick one pebble from it. If she picks the black pebble, she must marry me, and the debt will be forgiven. If she picks the white pebble, she won't have to marry me, and still the debt will be forgiven. But if she refuses to pick, then the gardener will be sent to prison." Hearing this, the gardener and her daughter were stunned. The minister bent down to pick 2 pebbles from the path nearby, which was filled with tiny stones. But the gardener's daughter was sharp and observant. She noticed that the minister had picked up 2 black pebbles and put them into the pouch. There was no white pebble at all. Now the situation was extremely difficult. The minister wanted to win by deception. My friends, imagine for a moment that you were in the young girl's place. What options would you have? Let's pause the story here for a moment. Refused to pick a pebble. But then, the gardener would be sent to prison. Courageously exposed the minister's cheating. But the minister was powerful and the king's favorite. People might believe him and call the girl a liar. Deliberately pick a black pebble and sacrifice herself. That meant losing her happiness, only to save her mother. These 3 options come from traditional logical thinking. In other words, straightforward reasoning and ordinary sense show only these paths. But none of these options were right or just. The young girl thought for a moment and then smiled. She realized that if she tried to solve the problem the way the minister wanted, she would never win. So she decided, why not change the rules of the game itself? She took out a pebble from the pouch without looking at it and deliberately dropped it on the ground. The pebble mixed with the soil and other stones. Everyone was shocked. The minister glared at her angrily, but the girl quickly said innocently, "Oh, how careless of me." The pebble slipped and fell. But don't worry, the truth can still be found. Just open the pouch. Whatever pebble remains inside. The opposite of that must be the one I had picked. The pouch was opened, and inside was a black pebble. That clearly meant the girl had picked the white pebble. Now the minister was helpless. If he admitted that both pebbles were black, his cheating would be exposed in front of everyone. Forced by the situation, he had to forgive the debt. The girl not only saved her dignity, but also saved her mother from prison. My friends, no matter how complex a problem may seem, the solution is always in front of us. We just need to change the way we look at it. Troubles seem impossible only when we try to unlock them with the key of conventional thinking. But the moment we change our perspective, the impossible becomes effortless. This story teaches us that no matter how tough the situation, if we pause instead of panicking and search for a new way, victory will be ours. Friends, even the most complicated knot of life can be untied. Not in the way the world teaches us, but in the way our wisdom shows us. Crises don't come to defeat us. They come to introduce us to our true strength. Remember, difficulties don't close doors. They just force us to find a new window. That's the difference between ordinary thinking and extraordinary thinking. Where most people see only 3 closed roads, a wise person creates a 4th one. No matter how big the problem is, a solution always exists. The only difference is whether we know how to change our way of thinking or not.